everyone, my name is Miranda and today I'm here to review episode 5 of Élite season 1. And the interesting thing about this episode, overall the feeling I got is like this is the first episode that I've actually been worried about Marina. Like obviously she dies so we should always be worried about her, but before this I feel like she was on like a pretty okay path. Like I was just like how'd you get involved in all of this, girl? But at the end of this one and throughout this one I was like, oh dear, now I see how you got kind of like just not in a good situation through some of the stuff she did. And basically through Nano is like the main thing. Like as much as I want to be like Sam is just like, okay, I love Sam, but he can be kind of whiny sometimes. Just like, I did something wrong, I'm sorry. And just how he wanted to keep her away from Nano so much. But at the same time, like, he was kind of right because like it's twofold, because I feel like on one hand, had he just like not been so like, no, you're not helping us, like get away, stay away from Nano, blah, blah, blah. If he had just like talked to her more and like actually listened to what she had to offer and stuff like that, I feel like maybe she wouldn't have been as involved with Nano, because now it's like it's something that bonds those two together that they have to do behind Sam's backs. Like now they have like a secret and intimacy, you know, that they have to keep away from him. Whereas if he had like just heard her out, I feel like he would have been included and it wouldn't have drawn her closer to Nano. So I feel like that's where he kind of messed up. But then at the same time, like, he was also right, because like he said that getting involved with Nano won't end well for you. Like, I don't want you involved in all this. And he is absolutely right, because we see what it leads her to. And I feel like I get that, you know, the whole thing with stealing the watches and stuff like that, that guy was a douche and gross and a perv, and he deserved to have his stuff stolen. But at the same time, like, she went behind her, she used Carla basically, pretending that she wanted to hang out and stuff like that to do it and help Nano. And it's just kind of like, it's not a good thing that she's doing, you know? Even if she's stealing from some douchebag, it's not a good way how she went about it at all. And I think it's very telling that the way they framed it was when Nano and Marina actually like met together in the rain, made out, and presumably did all that stuff. The very next day she was absolutely shattered and just wrecked, because, you know, she knows that like she's being pulled in like a million different ways, I think, with how she feels of her like wanting to be with Sam, but then also like liking Nano more, and the guilt she's feeling and stuff like that. And it's just all kind of accumulating together. But I feel like hooking up with Nano like really was the trigger, you know, like that's what sent her not looking so good. And she took all that, I'm assuming it's weed, but maybe it was something way stronger based on the way she passed out and stuff like that. But she's just really, like, this is the one where I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is the start of her downfall. This is what's going to start to lead to her murder. And I do feel like the watches being stolen is, like, the catalyst, potentially, of why she's killed. Like, there's obviously something on those watches that we don't know exactly what, but it's something incriminating probably, because the guy had even said earlier, like, oh, you can, like, record, listen, like, keep storage of all your stuff on the watch or whatever. And then he was saying, like, oh, they got my watch that had the stuff on it. So, like, had Nano not stolen the watch right off the guy and been a dick about it, we probably would have been fine. But, of course, he had to go and be cheeky and steal the watch literally from right under the guy's nose. So, I also was like, why is he getting so upset? Like, I get, like, rich people are like, bah, 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 but, like, when their stuff is missing. But, like, I was like, dude, it's a watch and you have 20 other ones. Like, why are you freaking out so much that 5 are missing? But then it makes sense if there's something incriminating or something, you know, maybe about like the school collapsing originally in the beginning, something like that. So I feel like that's what we're gonna find out more about it. And, you know, that kind of makes it look like maybe like Marina's parents, like her dad or Carla's dad, are the one that killed her. But, you know, we know that that's not the case. So that's just kind of my thing. Like, I feel really, really bad, because I feel like we're truly watching like the downfall of this girl, and it's horrifying to know how it's going to end, you know, because she's in such a bad place, and you'll be like, oh no, she'll make it out of it, but she doesn't eventually. So like, that's really, really depressing to think of, and just to watch her like kind of break down and literally collapse. And, you know, she's blackmailing, well, not blackmailing, but I mean, she kind of, you know, threatened Martin. Not that I love him, but it's just, it's not a good place. I feel like no one's actually in a good place in this episode, weirdly enough. Like, Sam is just Sam. And then Omar and Ander are also not in a great place, because Ander wants to be, like, out with his friends at least, you know, and show off Omar and be like, look how happy I am, and, you know, kiss him in public. And Omar's more like, I can't, like, I have to keep this a secret, and you just want too much from me. And to, like, they need to communicate better, you know, and just kind of get on each other's level of, like, talking, because I feel like Onder truly like didn't realize like how much of a thing it is for Omar, and if he'd just like explained that, I feel like Onder would be more receptive to it, but like Omar just like stalks off and gets mad. So like those two have issues that they need to work out, but I love them together. So hopefully, I'm also worried that like because Marina got the drugs, like if her parents are obviously gonna know, and Guzman's gonna know, and Guzman's gonna connect it that she got it from Omar and freak out. So I really hope that Omar doesn't get in trouble, you know, like that would, oh, I really, really hope that doesn't happen. So we'll see with that. But then also Nadia and Guzman, not in a great place. That was just like the mood of this episode with my ships and all the characters, because they kind of gotten like a spat, you could say, over everything. First, Lou and Guzman hooked up, which like, Guzman, you just need to stop thinking with your dick. You either act like a dick or think with your dick. Like, you need to just figure it all out. So like Lou is just like, she can just go. Like even at the end when they were like, do you hate Marina? Like obviously I feel like she does hate Marina, because Marina doesn't like her and doesn't want her with Guzman, obviously, and is like friends with Nadia and is like a rival for Guzman's attention. So like obviously like, yeah, she doesn't like Marina, I feel like. Like she probably likes her in terms of like Guzman likes Lou if she watches out for Marina and is nice to her. But then at the same time when they were gonna get like at the birthday party and they all want to take a picture together, and then Guzman and Marina were just like in it together and Lou had to take the picture. Like I feel like that makes sense. We also got to see Nadia being a bit, you know, judgmental, which was heartbreaking to watch because I love her so much and I love her relationship with Marina, and just seeing like that's the fear, you know, that Marina has, is people are going to treat her differently and judge her differently. It looks like for the most part by the end of it, Nadia is like over it and has come to terms with it after her talk with Guzman, where Guzman kind of called her out for being so judgmental and, you know, kind of just being really rude to Marina for no reason whatsoever. And those two also need to learn how to communicate, because they just both go for the jugular when they get into fights. Like she was saying like, you know, your family has so many messed up problems, like my family isn't like that, like I just don't know how I can be around someone like that. And then he should not have said it because it was super dicky, but what a great line it was. He was just like, well, you know what your brother does? He deals drugs and he sucks cock. And I was just like, Guzman, like, you can't say that, but what a power line right there. I was just like, oh my gosh. So those two are, again, not in a great place. I mean, Nadia did apologize. She was kind of like, you know, like, I realized I was harsh and I need to educate myself more about it and stuff like that. But still, it wasn't up to him to, like, out her brother like that to her. He doesn't know. I mean, he knows Nadia, and I think he knows she wouldn't be, like, crazy. I think he was more just telling her to be like, you think your family isn't hiding anything, but, like, look at your brother, not, like, worried that she was going to judge her brother, because if he did, that would be super, super messed up. And it doesn't seem like, for the most part, she does. She doesn't really care about, like, him dealing or being gay. She just cares about like how, like, why does he have to do it now, you know, like why can't he just wait till they're out of the house and they don't have to follow their parents' rules as much anymore. It's just not a fun episode to watch for anyone. Everyone is in a bad mood. This will show you how weird this episode is. Polo had one of my favorite lines. Polo, out of all people, when Guzman, like, embarrassed Onder and Omar by being like, I give you guys my blessing, gay power and all that, and Onder got, like, super mad and walked off, and then Polo was like, what are you, their best man? Like, why do you have to give them their blessing? Like, if even Polo's pointing out that you're being an idiot, you know you're being a big idiot. So I'm just really, really excited to see what's going to happen now that, like, again, I feel like the watch is like the catalyst, like I said, of bad stuff starting to really happen, especially with Nano and Marina. So we'll see with that. Also, like, Sam and her have, like, broken up, right? I feel like they have to have because there's, like, I don't know. It's just, like, so those two, as cute as they are together, they're just not good for each other. I feel like she's just too headstrong and he's just too, like, unsure of himself. So, but other than that, yeah, it's just so much is happening, and, like, people, they're just, everyone's in such a bad place right now, and I'm just like, just talk to each other. Like, I just want to get them in a room and be like, just talk to each other. So if you have seen this episode, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Also, make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!